Hey guys, this is Robinnuts1 here, and I'm here to do a review for Interstellar. So Interstellar is a science fiction space adventure film directed by Christopher Nolan. Yeah, so the film is set in the near future, and it's implied that it's basically stated that Earth is no longer able to sustain human life. There's dust, that keeps falling down onto the ground. There are large portions of the crops that are all destroyed and stuff. And the story follows a man called Cooper, who is a former engineer and test pilot for NASA. And basically what happens is Cooper comes across a NASA base, and Matthew McConaughey, who acts as Cooper, basically is enlisted to explore other planets in the hopes that they can find a planet that will help them sustain life. Going into this movie, I think one of the problems is that and one of the reasons why I don't think this movie is going to do that well in the box office is because nobody knows anything about this movie. Nolan has a tendency to keep everything under wraps, and I have to congratulate him on that. It is very, very hard to avoid spoilers. Going into this movie, I knew nothing about the movie, and when I compare it to other work that Nolan has done in the past, I've got to admit, Interstellar is not one of Nolan's great movies. Inception was a far greater film, in my opinion. Inception was something completely new, and I don't think Interstellar is. Interstellar doesn't have that same interesting uniqueness, and it tries to do things that just don't make sense for the film and for the world that Nolan has built up. Like one of the examples of the ridiculousness of this movie is that someone bizarrely states in this movie that they didn't believe that the Americans went to the moon. Now, I have a huge problem with this because it just doesn't make sense. This movie is about space exploration, and yet one of your teachers is talking about America's never going to the moon. I just thought that was really, really bizarre, and it speaks to a lot of scientific facts that I'm unsure the movie A has right, and B, it tries to do things with these scientific facts that are just bizarre. And the authenticity of Americans going to the moon is just one of them. I know nothing about black holes, but I'm pretty sure that what they were trying to do with the black hole / wormhole idea isn't scientifically accurate. I'm afraid that kind of and I know this is a science fiction story, but science fiction usually has a basis of fact within it, and I'm really not unsure of the scientific facts that were presented in this movie. And as I said, when compared to Inception, Inception was just a far greater film. Inception, for example, Inception just has, such a well-crafted story and an interesting character to follow. Whereas this movie doesn't, and it does kind of bother me a little as well. I mean, I found the ending completely bizarre. And there's no explanation as to how this world ended up becoming the way it is. Was it due to war? Was it due to pollution? How did this world become the way it is? And there is no explanation to that. But there are good qualities about this film. For example, the film does such an excellent job at presenting a family. I really latched on to the family aspects of this film. Matthew McConaughey as Cooper does a really good job at playing that father figure to his children. And it really plays on the algorithms. It really plays on the concept of fathers who are being fathers long distance. I kind of thought that this was how children looked at their fathers who are in space and are gone for long periods of time. And I just really latched onto that as a concept. The acting in this film is good. That I found the acting could have been a lot better, but some of the notable examples of good acting were Matthew McConaughey, Jessica Chastain from Zero Dark 30, and Michael Caine, who is really becoming a staple of Nolan's film at this point. I would also just like to mention a special mention to Mackenzie Foy. Mackenzie Foy is the same actress who played Bella and Edward's daughter from Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. And my goodness, this actress does such a good job in this role. I was really impressed at just the range that this actress could do. And I enjoyed seeing how much she's developed as an actress. I just thought she did such a good job. Some of the other themes of the idea of exploring space and the idea of scientific facts, there are a lot of scientific theories and scientific ways of thinking in this film. And I really thought that was very good. However, as I said, I don't entirely buy some of the scientific facts that were presented. But I like the idea of the mindset that these characters have. Particularly in regards to the Cooper household's way of thinking about science as well. Another idea that I liked was the idea of human survival. This is a huge theme in this movie. And what I really, really liked was just how positive it was. It isn't Walking Dead level negativity about human beings and about the human psyche. I just really, really liked that idea. I liked the positivity. I liked how much this. I mean, the movie does kind of make it just a little bit preachy, but I really, really liked the idea and theme that was explored for the most part. All in all, this film was an okay film. It has a lot of problems. Is it enjoyable? But it isn't. But it is enjoyable. It has just so many great things going for it that I kind of have to admit, yeah, I did like it. I'm Robinats1 here. I hope you enjoyed my Interstellar review. And I shall see you all later for another movie review. Bye.